Welcome to 6th grade math. Get ready for the lesson. Instant messaging, we're going to analyze the table. What were the least and greatest numbers of instant messages sent? So these were instant messages sent each day for 21 days. And if we look through this real quick, we can see that the least is 2 and the greatest is 45. And I don't know how quick you could look through it, and that's kind of the point of this. Which number of instant messages occurred most often? So to me, this is a little bit harder to try and determine that. And if we scan, we'll see that 21 happened multiple times. I see 3. So we're going to talk about how can we organize the data so it's easier to find things. And a stem and leaf plot can help us do that. So the data are ordered from least to greatest and organized by place value. And this is what a stem and leaf plot looks like. And if we use the data from, actually this is just random data. So the stem is the tens place in this case, so 2, 3, and 5. And you'll notice the leaves are 1, 2, 2, 5, 8. And what that means is if we combine the stem, the tens place, with the leaves, the ones place, 2 in the tens and 1 in the leaves gives us 21. 2 in the tens, 2 in the ones gives us 22, and so on. So example, instant messaging, make a stem and leaf plot of the data and get ready for the lesson. So step 1, order the data from least to greatest, and we've done that. And I didn't put the table here again, but if you look on page 92 in your textbook at the very top, you'll see the table that we took this from. Notice that I've color coded the numbers, and you'll see why in a moment. Step 2, draw a vertical line and write the tens digits from least to greatest on the left side of the line. Since the least value is 2 and the greatest value is 45, the stems are 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And hopefully now you see why I color coded. So the stems, all the numbers with the stem of 0 are red. Stem of 1 are all purple. Stem of 2 are green. And stem of 3 are blue. And then stem of 4 looks like a maroon. Step 3, write the ones digits in order to the right of the line with the corresponding stem. The ones digits form the leaves. So for 0, we have 2, 3, 5, and 7. And if you look, those are the exact numbers, right? Because all those numbers only have digits in the one place. And then if we look at the stem of 1, we have 0, 2, 4, 7. And if you look back at the numbers, we have 10, 12, 14, 17. So 1 and 0 is 10, 1 and 2 is 12, 1 and 4 is 14, and 1 and 7 is 17. And then for the 20s, we have all these. So 2 and 0 is 20, 2 and 1 is 21. And then we have another 21, another 21, a 24, a 25, a 27, and a 27. And now we have a stem of 3 and leaves of 1, 2, 3, 5. If you look back to the list of numbers, that's equivalent to 31, 32, 33, and 35. And then under the 4s, we only have one number, which is 45. Step 4, include a key that explains the stems and leaves. So 3, 1, if we look at the stem of 3 and the leaf of 1, 3/1 equals 31 text messages. So scaffolding questions. Here's a histogram using the same data. So this is all the same data above in the stem and leaf. And there it is as the first one's a vertical and the second one's a horizontal bar graph. And what does a histogram turned sideways have in common with the stem and leaf plot? So let's look at that. They're calling it a histogram, but we know that that can also be called a horizontal bar graph. Are there any similarities there? The histogram bars have the same relative length as the stem and leaf plot rows. So if you look at 1 to 10, which is the 0 stem, is the same length as the 1 stem, or 11 to 20 down below. 21 to 30 is the longest one, and up top you'll notice that the stem of 2 is the longest one. So how many times were 21 instant messages sent? The answer is 3. Can you tell from the histogram? No, you must look at the stem and leaf plot. So if you look at the stem and leaf plot, it's easy to see which number repeats itself the most. It's 21. It's pretty obvious. Stem 2, there are 3 ones right in a row. And we know that the next closest one would be 27, which has 2. Check your progress. Make a stem and leaf plot of the following data. So calcium per serving in selected vegetables, milligrams, and they give us the data. Notice that it's random. It's not in any particular order. So we are going to rearrange it so that it's from least to greatest. And then we can take that and put it into our stem and leaf plot. So notice that for the stem 1, there's 1, and then for the leaf there's 0, 4, 4, 9. And if you look back at the numbers 10, 14, 14, 19. So you can take a look through those. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on that. And if you're not sure, just pause it and look at the numbers versus the stem and leaf. All right, the stem and leaf plot shows the approximate height of the 20 tallest waterfalls in the world. Write a few sentences that analyze the data. So if we look at it, there's 4 leaves on stem 4, there's 4 on stem 5, there's 5 on stem 6, there's 4 on stem 7, there's only 1 on stem 8, and then there's 2 on stem 9. And we do note that 4-6 equals 460 meters. The tallest waterfall in the world is about 980 meters. So how did they figure that? They see that the last number or data listed is the 9 stem and the 8. So we know that in this case, we know now, in this case, the after reading the key of 4/6 equals 460, the stem is hundreds, and the leaf is tens, and the 1 is going to be zeros. 2 of the waterfalls are about 490 meters tall. So if we look there, there's 2 under 4, 2 9s. So we know that 2 of them are 490-ish. And half the waterfalls are at least 610 meters. So if we look at the 6, stem 6, and leaf 1, and we count all of them before that, which is 9, and we count all of them after that, which is 11, or including the 6 tens. So that statement is true. And then a little trivia, the tallest waterfall in the world is Angel Falls in Venezuela. It is 15 times higher than Niagara Falls. Mrs. Hudson made the stem and leaf plot to display the results of the math test scores for her students. Write a few sentences that analyze the data she displayed. So we do see 8/5 equals 85%. So we know that the 6 and 2 is 62%, 67%, 68%. So we know the lowest grade was a 62. We know that the highest grade was 100, and there were 2 of those because under the stem of 10, there are 2 zeros in the leaf. So we know that's going to be 100%. So let's see what this says. The majority of the students received a grade of 85% or higher. So most students understood the material. And you can do that by, if you look to stem 8 and look at the leaf, there are a lot of 5s there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we continue counting 85 and above, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 students got an 85 or above, while 10 got below an 85. And keep calm because math is awesome. Additional examples. Make a stem and leaf plot for the data in the table below. So here's our data. I'm not going to spend a lot of time making sure we know that each piece went in. Just remember that we had to organize it least to greatest so that we would get it in order. And then we entered it into our table, and then we set a key was 7/8 equals 78. And that lets people know that the stem is the tens place and the leaf is the ones place. Additional examples. The following stem and leaf plot shows the total points scored in 41 recent Super Bowls. So notice that most of the Super Bowls, they score in either the 30s or 40s. And then there is an outlier of 75. And then there are quite a few, 2, 4, 5, that only scored in the 20s. And if you notice, we know all of this because the key says 5/3 equals 53 points. So the stem is the tens, and the leaf is the ones. So write a few sentences analyzing the data. The lowest point total is 21. We can see that. Stem of 2, leaf of 1. And the highest point total is 75, which we've already discussed. So that's a 7 in the tens and a 5 in the ones. And most of the combined scores are in the 30s and 40s, and even the 50s. Higher and lower point totals are more unusual. Okay, here's your homework. It's in Google Classroom. So head on over there, submit it, and have a great night.